Welcome to Back into the Future with Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the modern day. It is Back into the Future, our show, but it's the day that you're listening to this. It's always whatever day you're listening to it.
No, it's the day we're recording it.
Yeah.
Which is...
I don't know.
June 7th.
2022.
Yeah.
How futuristic of a day. With me is... My name is Mark. With me as always is my gorgeous wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good time here. We do this bonus show for everyone. This is a Patreon exclusive. If you're listening to this, that means we've deemed it worthy to kind of give you a little sneak peek of our Patreon only content.
Yes.
So we have several shows over on Patreon. We do the
Lost in Time?
Lost in Time, where it's whatever year.
Whatever random ass year we want it to be.
We just come up with a random ass year, and we do the regular show. We do like a movie. We do some news. We do a television show from that era. We do this show, the modern show. We do the mixtape show, massive mixtape. There's a lot of stuff going on over there.
Well, and here's the thing, is like... There'd be a lot more stuff going on over there if we had some more subscribers on Patreon, because we want to make a lot more content.
Yeah.
We just can't make as much content as we want right now.
We want to be able to quit our jobs and do this, just exclusively this. So why don't you guys all pay us to do
Right.
It's, it's cheap. It's a cheap entry over there. So just go ahead and check out our Patreon, patreon.com/retrolafy. You'll find it in the links below this as well. We don't get to shill it very much on the regular show because it is 1997 on the normal show. So we have, we're gonna do a Dawson's Creek show coming up in about a year. That might go on Patreon. That
starts in January of 1998.
Yeah, so just January of next year.
Yeah, January. We'll start it in January of 2023.
Right.
I'm excited. I love Dawson's Creek.
Can you believe it's going to be 1998 is going to be 25 years ago? I graduated in 1998.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm an old man.
Yep. But he really is a grandpa.
Wow. But speaking of old men, we watched Stranger Things. We're here to talk to you about Stranger Things, episodes 1 through 7. Now, I think at the beginning we'll probably do some somewhat non-spoilery stuff, but if you haven't watched all 7 episodes, you should probably watch all 7 episodes before you listen to this.
Yeah, go watch them and come back. I mean, shame on you for not binging the whole thing. Like,
yeah, we're going to shame people for pacing themselves.
Well, I mean, like, I thought we'd be done with it before we were, because it came out the day after my birthday. And I had a long weekend, and I thought we would just binge through those 7 episodes, but
it took us like a week and a half.
It did.
To watch 7 fucking episodes.
And they're all more than an hour long.
Yeah, the last one was almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was more like a mini movie.
Yeah, well, they did say, the Duffer Brothers did say, and I assume that has to do with the fact, so this is the final season, obviously. I feel like that they wanted to do 5 seasons. That seemed 5 seasons like a very nice, kind of roundish number.
Yeah, but that's more than they usually get on Netflix, isn't it? Like, don't they usually only do 3 or whatever?
Yeah, well, if it's successful. After the 3rd one, they usually kind of axe it, I don't know, Netflix is changing because Netflix is losing subscribers by the millions every day. I think
Are they?
Oh yeah, they're in big trouble. I think they're changing some of the stuff they do. You and Stefan watched that Raising Dion show, right?
Yeah.
Did that end satisfactory in this last season?
It's not over.
Okay, well they canceled it. I just read that today.
Aww.
It's canceled.
Oh, no.
Did it end on like a cliffhanger or something?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it really fucking did. Oh, I'm mad.
Yeah, they axed it.
Oh, Stefan's gonna be so sad.
Yeah, Netflix keeps canceling stuff because they're really struggling.
Well, like, God, we started watching that show so freaking long ago, too. Mm-hmm. Like, before Corona.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Was when the first season... It suffered the same thing as Stranger Things, where, like, it's a show about a kid that had to take a year-long break in between recording.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that's difficult. And you know, with Stranger Things, obviously I feel like they wanted to do two seasons of it, and they couldn't because of Corona, and they can't just push it back another year because these kids are going to start collecting Social Security pretty soon.
Right.
So they had to just kind of shove it all into one season. I think that's why it's a lot longer.
You know, you commented that the actress that plays Max looked like she had aged less than the others.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
But remember we saw her in a couple movies on Netflix in between? And I think maybe we're just used to looking at her.
I don't remember.
That Fear Street. She was in Fear Street.
Oh, yeah, she was in Fear Street, yeah. I don't know when that was filmed.
Well, I think it was filmed between Stranger Things seasons.
That was a weird... Fear Street was a weird, like...
Yeah.
Because it's like, it was sort of for kids, but then a lot of it was not for kids.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that series. Like, I used to love Christopher Pike books when I was young. Now,
I only know him as the original captain of the Starship Enterprise.
What? What are you talking about?
That was the name of the, I think, Christopher Jonathan or something like that. Captain Pike, he was the original. That's who Kirk took over from.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, when I was a teenager, Christopher Pike wrote horror novels for teens.
Okay.
And so I would read one every day or two. Like, just, it was like crack, and that's all I did. And he, more recently, since I have grown up, wrote this Fear Street series. Mm-hmm. And I remembered fondly reading his books, right? Mm-hmm. So I grabbed the first Fear Street book and read it to our children a summer or two ago.
Okay.
And as I was reading it, I cringed and questioned myself a couple times.
Was it highly inappropriate?
It wasn't as inappropriate as the movies, but it was a little too scary, maybe.
There's some lesbian sex scenes in the movies.
No, there was no sex in this book.
I'm just saying there are some lesbian sex scenes in the movie.
I think the movie aged it. Like, I really think that it's written for teens. It's not written for children, the books. And then the movies were for teens and young adults, not...
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Definitely not children.
No, definitely not children. But speaking of children, what we're here to talk about, Stranger Things.
Right.
So every season kind of feels like an homage to a different 80s property, I guess.
Sure.
Like they leaned a lot into Ghostbusters in that one season where they all dressed as Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. And this one, obviously, I think other people have pointed it out, is very Nightmare on Elm Street-esque.
Well, and then they pulled, what's his name?
Good old Robert Englund.
Right.
they pulled him out, halfway out of his grave and said, slap some makeup on you, son of a bitch.
It's so weird to see him as anything other than Freddy.
Yeah. There's some alien kind of, like those flying things that were biting at Steve.
Ugh.
It reminded me of, their faces kind of reminded me of Alien.
Really?
The face huggers, yeah.
I don't know. I just got really scared that he was going to get eaten alive.
Yeah. Well, some of the girls wanted to eat him alive, I think.
I think all the girls wanted to eat him alive. Shit.
Even Maya Hawke, even though her character's a lesbian.
Right? She was looking.
No, that was a very funny moment when Max was like, when he's, they're all like, oh, he's taking his shirt off and he's all hairy and everything. And Max is like, let me see. And she takes the binoculars and just stares. No words. They just kind of look glancing over at her. It's very funny.
I don't like the hairy chest.
I have a hairy chest.
No, I like your hairy chest. I like most hairy chests. I don't like it on Steve. Yeah,
Steve needs to be smooth.
I don't know why, but it just bothers me. Wasn't he smooth like a season ago? What happened?
He needs to be Johnny Smooth, just a smooth boy.
He's not supposed to be a hairy dude yet.
He's got that nice hair, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, I like the like I said, I like the Nightmare on Elm Street-esque vibes. Obviously, there's some Carrie going on with 11.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
she gets attacked.
Yeah, 11 is, I don't know. Like, our son is watching it with us now. He's 12. He's old enough.
Yeah.
And he asked me an interesting question, I thought anyway, of which storyline was my favorite. And I am enjoying what I consider the main story, which is the kids fighting the evil, superpower in Vecna in Hawkins. But his favorite is like not even Hopper in Russia, but Joyce and Murray going to find him.
I guess that's kind of the comic relief section of the show.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With him, being a black belt in karate.
That was hilarious.
Murray is great, though.
Yeah, I do like his character quite a bit.
It seemed like a lot of wheel spinning to me, though, in the whole Russia thing. It was like, oh, he's out. Oh, no, he's right back in.
Yeah, that was annoying.
And it's like, I don't know. It feels kind of like they're just wasting time. To me, this is what it seems like. They wrote this, like, oh, he gets transported to Russia. They wrote this thing at the end of the season, so he's not really dead. Which kind of undercuts the whole dramatic, I can still just picture the dramatic music, his face, looking at Joyce, all the, oh.
I cried.
Yeah. It really undercuts that. But anyway, so it feels like they did that, and then they, didn't have any ideas. They're like, they came up with the plot of this new season, and they were like, oh, what about Hopper? And they're like, well, we got to get him back to Hawkins. Let's just figure out a way to do that. And, because nothing interesting's going on with him.
I don't know that I would go that far. I mean, to say they didn't have any ideas and nothing interesting's going on. It's depressing. It's really fucking it's like he's in hell. Yeah. It's just torture after torture after torture, and it's getting a little old watching my favorite character get, tortured. But
there's some good acting going on. He's doing some good acting when he's talking about his daughter and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. They make the most out of what they're doing over there in the Russia thing, but there's nothing that they're doing. You know what I mean? They're making the most out of the nothing that's going on there. They don't have any plot in place. They're just like, oh, there's a Demogorgon monster they're going to have to fight. And that's the big culmination of what he's doing there. But it really does just feel like we don't have enough material. We have way more material over here with the Hawkins stuff, but we have to come back to him every once in a while because people have to remember he's in the show and we're paying him. So... every time they go back to him, it's just just fill some time with him. That's what it feels like. It really feels like they're just filling some time because the arc of his storyline is really short. Yeah, it could be one episode. Honestly, he's there in Russia. He tries to break out, gets betrayed. They come to get him. They're going to feed him to the monster. Joyce and Murray come and save the day. That could be one, maybe 2 episodes. Yeah. Of, not whole episodes, but I just mean that storyline could span over a couple episodes, and then that's it. Then they however they're going to get back, they get back to Hawkins, and I guess that'll be a something too. But it feels like a lot of it was, especially in the early, it got more exciting after Murray and Joyce got drugged and they, got. Their plane crashed and everything. That was very Indiana Jones. Yeah. The plane crashing. We're not, whatever, we're crashing. What? It's from Indiana Jones.
Okay.
The Temple of Doom.
I don't remember, but I believe you.
Okay. When they get on the raft and they, Anyway, that's your favorite Indiana Jones movie, by the way, and you don't remember that.
It's been a long time.
Okay. Kate Capshaw or whatever her name is, But yeah, so this is the great content you can pay for, everyone. But yeah, that got sort of interesting. Once that kind of kicked into gear, that got sort of interesting. But the first 4 or 5 episodes where literally nothing's going on with him, that was
nothing. I mean, okay, at one point he broke his foot to get out of that thing, and I mean that was something. That was
by the way,
thing.
that didn't harm him in fighting the Demogorgon. He didn't get an infection.
Yeah, it's been weird how he's still been so mobile and stuff after having to go through all the stuff he's been going through. He's like, my ribs are broken. Don't make me laugh, and they probably are. But then he doesn't seem like they are.
No. I'm just so sick of everybody being like, no, you're not strong, American. Yeah, you're full of bluster. You're not strong. And it's just he's nothing but strong.
Right.
His character is written as basically fucking He-Man.
Right. So you brought up, though, about his daughter. Now, he had been talking about his daughter. He mentioned the Agent Orange. So is that a thing? That these guys come back from war and have kids that die of cancer because of Agent Orange? It seems like a far-fetched thing.
Does it?
It does.
Well, no, you're wrong.
That really happens?
Yeah, pretty much.
How? What happens to their sperm that makes them have kids that later get cancer? I mean, that's weird. I understand being sterile or birth defects or I don't know, but later getting cancer, that just seems weird.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that you take in your body can affect things in many ways. And yeah, if the sperm is defective, it's like carrying defective genetic material because it's been mutated essentially. And those mutations can cause cancers. Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't done a ton of research on Agent Orange or what happened to Vietnam War vets who were exposed to Agent Orange. But yeah, I mean, it was a big deal.
That's awful.
Yeah, and it affected them, it affected their families, and it was, yeah. So that gives us a little more flavor. He feels responsible for the death of his daughter because of, he shouldn't have had kids of his own or whatever because of that, I guess.
I mean, but, that's kind of like saying he thinks then she should never have been born. But, I feel like he loved her so much, she seemed happy up till that point.
You seemed happy up to the point she died.
I'm just saying,
no,
maybe
this is a good time. Oh, wait, no, not anymore.
Maybe she would argue that she would rather have had what she had than nothing at all.
She would rather have existed? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think most of us would rather have existed than not existed.
I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there that would say I'd rather not have existed.
Oh, that's pretty fucking dark. Even for this show, pretty dark.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's... it's definitely a thing.
Okay.
So that's his favorites storyline, huh?
Yeah.
It's like I said, that was moments of levity, really, to me, mostly. Except for, it was annoying and angering when he drugged them and everything. It was clear that he betrayed them, and Hopper gets taken in and all that stuff again.
Yeah, that was all very upsetting.
But my favorite storyline is probably I like the 11 storyline a lot, actually. Maybe my least favorite storyline besides the Alaska thing is the kids in California / Utah.
Oh yeah, I don't even think about them as a separate storyline, but they are.
Yeah, and I mean that's another one where it's like,
what are they doing?
Yeah. They really didn't have a lot of ideas for some of these characters.
Well, I mean, especially they went to go see Dustin's girlfriend. By the time that happened, we watched all of this in a week and a half, so there was not a big pause in between. I was wondering why they were there. I couldn't quite remember, and I'm still not sure
because they did the War Games thing. They had the number. The dude gave him a number, but it's a number to a modem for some fucking reason. And they needed to use it to track down the address of where 11 is. They're looking for 11 because the military dudes are also looking for 11.
Okay.
It seems like they both found them now because they tortured that one dude, and finally he just gave up.
That poor guy.
Finally, he was just like, "Yeah, let's end this.
Just promise me you won't kill her."
Right. Because they think that she's responsible for what's happening in Hawkins, which I guess in a way she kind of is. But
She's not.
But also not.
No, we know she's not now. It's not her. It's one.
Yeah, but she kind of set that in motion with her attacking him and taking the fucking thing out of his neck and all that stuff.
Okay.
Like, if it wasn't for her, he wouldn't be alive and doing this.
Huh.
Now, I'm just saying, it's not really her fault, but I'm just saying, like, you can look at it in a way. What I want to know is, so, obviously, spoilers, we find out that the storylines are connected with 11, what she's going through in the past, and what's happening now. Because Vecna is the son of Creel, I believe. Victor Creel, I think was his name, who's Robert Englund, and the first victim of this Vecna thing, right? So the son is actually doing this because he, for some reason, has these powers. The powers that 11 has and everything. We don't know how he came about them. And this is the other thing, too. It's hard to do this any other way for the TV show, so I cut them some slack. But it's a lot of fucking exposition. He's basically just, like, monologue telling 11 how everything fits together in that one scene. You look so confused. We just watched this. Did you? Like...
I'm not confused about the show. I'm confused why you're saying this because, like, it wasn't like him just sitting there talking. Like they did flashbacks. They showed like what he was doing and stuff like, while he was narrating.
Correct. They did do that, but it's still a voiceover of him. Basically, just I mean, it's not a lot of. You're not discovering it through actual scenes.
Okay.
But yeah, so it turns out that Vecna is the son of this dude who somehow came about these powers. We don't know how. It's unexplained. He just has these telekinetic powers. And he became one because Matthew Modine got a hold of him and took his blood, I believe, and some stuff and was like, let's make some others.
Yeah, that was a really bad idea. Like, they were called in to deal with a psychopath with superpowers, and they're like, let's make more.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know exactly how they did it. That's not explained either. Now, here's the thing. I'm not one of those people where it's like, everything has to be explained. I don't care. It doesn't matter. They used him to make the others. That's all I need to know. Don't need a deeper explanation of it. You could come up with one. You could talk about DNA and fucking blood samples and like all this other stuff and come up with a scientific explanation that might or might not pass muster, but I don't care. The only information I really need is they took him and they made the other ones. Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't make them, but they took other children and they did something medically to them to give them these powers, and they're all developing these powers. And he was too powerful and too much of a psychopath, so they put some kind of fucking dampening chip on him.
Right.
But still employed him and allowed him to have access to the other kids. Maybe not the best move.
Well, what are they supposed to do?
Lock him in a cage.
He
murdered two people.
He was a kid. What?
And look what he's done now.
Yeah.
You're really going to argue that he shouldn't have just been locked up?
I'm just saying I can understand why they chose not to lock him up.
Anyway, so they this whole time we think that that 11's the one that killed all these people, but it's not. It's one.
Yeah.
He killed them all.
And he just lets her think. Matthew Modine lets her think she did it. And that's making me really mad. Like, if you know she didn't do it and she's all sad and freaking out, then fucking tell her.
Yeah, Matthew Modine's an asshole.
I hate him.
But my question is, so they have the confrontation. They don't say this. I'm glad they don't fucking state it or whatever. But he says to her, found my power from a memory that makes me both sad and angry. So he's drawing on negative emotions to fuel this power of his, right? She tries to do that, but it's not really working because he has more negative emotions than she does, right?
Right.
She gets, put up in the air. Looks like she's going to get all turned up and fucking cracked out. Like, I don't know why he does that to them, like how he kills them.
Because he likes that he can manipulate their bodies with his mind.
I guess. But instead, she thinks of, I don't know how she has this memory, but she thinks of a memory of love. Did you catch that? She thinks about the moment of her birth and seeing her mother's face and her being like, oh, I love you so much, Jane, and everything. So she thinks about a moment of love, and that's what fuels her power.
Good versus evil.
Exactly. It's the Care Bear power of love. It's Huey Lewis's power of love.
There you go.
That's what she's channeling. And so my question is, and then she destroys him, opens up this rift, and shoves him through it. My question is, did she create the Upside Down? Was that her creating a realm to lock him in through her power, and she created the Upside Down? Or was the Upside Down always there, and she basically just shoved him through, with as powerful as she was being, shoved him through reality, opened up a fissure to another reality, and shoved him in it? A desolate, like, empty reality.
I would tend to think that it was there. I don't think she's powerful enough to create an entire dimension.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think probably it was just there, and she shoved him so hard she shoved him through reality.
Yeah.
Into another reality. That's what I think. Now, Dustin was talking about how, and I think this makes a lot of sense, where he was talking about, like, oh, the Mind Flayer is, wants to take over the world and everything, and the Demogorgon, season 1, was just like a foot soldier, which makes a lot of sense because it's basically a just fucking mindless killing machine.
Right.
And he's like, and Vecna's like his 5-star general. Do you think that's the case? That Vecna / Creel is his 5-star general, like his big command dude? Or do you think Vecna's the one in charge of everything?
I kind of was thinking Vecna was in charge of everything until they said that, because he like hooks up into all these like tendrils, and the tendrils, like they said, it's a hive mind, right? Everything's connected. It seems like he's running everything through that. I
agree. I think when he got there to the Upside Down, it was basically just him. And I think he cultivated these things. The Demogorgons and the flying things. I think they're his creations. That's what I think.
Oof.
I think he populated it. There's also the revelation that they're in the past when they're in the Upside Down.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I don't know why that is either.
And if that is, then why are they able to talk to the people in the fucking future? That bothers me, honestly. That doesn't seem like that should work that way.
It seems like the other way should work. Like they should be able to talk, and Dustin should be able to hear them, because they're speaking from the past, so he's hearing echoes from the past. But he shouldn't be able to communicate back to them because they're in the past. So, but it's the other way around.
Or I would think that the past people should be able to hear them now and not the people now.
I think that's the same thing as what I said. I think if I followed what you just said.
I don't think so.
Well, what do you mean then?
I mean that, like, when I don't think it's wrong that they can hear them.
Okay, why?
But I think that the people hearing them should be the 2 years ago people, not the present day people.
That is how it's going. The 3 years ago, actually, people are hearing Dustin talk, and they can't talk to him. They have to use the lights. That is how it is.
But those aren't 3 years ago people. Those are now people.
What are you talking about?
Motherfucker. Okay. In the Upside Down, they're in the past.
Yeah.
The people not in the Upside Down are in the present.
Correct.
But they're still talking to each other.
The people in the past, the people that are in the Upside Down in the past can hear the people in the future talk.
Right.
But they can't talk to them.
But they can talk to them through the lights.
Right.
But they should be talking to people not in the Upside Down, but in the past.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, they should be, flickering lights in Nancy's room and have Nancy from 3 years ago see it, not Nancy now. That part doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, but how does the part where the people in the future are talking and the people in the past can hear them make sense?
It doesn't. None of it makes sense.
Okay. Wow, that was the most convoluted, long discussion to be like, yeah, I mean, we're both right. Oh, my God.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't need to make sense.
So, I don't know. So they have 2 episodes left to fix it. To fix it all.
To fix everything.
I don't know.
I hate how they did this, too, by the way.
What do you mean?
7 episodes and then 2.
Yeah. And when are they going to release the next 2 episodes?
I don't remember.
Is it like a million years from now?
Yep, exactly. But we'll have to go to Nancy's room to hear it.
Shut up.
Even though it'll be filmed a million years from now, we'll still be able to hear it in the past. But to let the filmmakers know that we liked it, we'll have to use lights. What do you like? This season is so far, I think, is my favorite or second favorite season.
Okay.
It's either 1 or 2, with obviously season 1 being the other one. I like season 3 quite a bit too, actually.
I liked them all.
Season 2, I think, was clearly the weakest.
I don't remember season 2 right now.
Exactly.
Was that the Ghostbusters one?
Yeah.
It was fine.
Exactly. It was fine. The weakest of the 4. But this one, where would you rank this one? Is this your favorite, second, third, fourth?
Probably my second favorite behind 1.
Yeah.
But maybe my first favorite. I don't know.
1's pretty fucking hard to beat.
It is.
And the feeling of it is impossible to beat.
Do you remember how they were releasing them episode at a time, 1 week at a time in the beginning, weren't they? Or were we just
I don't think they
watching
were.
them slowly?
I don't think they were. I think they released them all at once.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I just remember going crazy waiting to watch the next one. So I still feel that way. Now we've got to wait an undeterminate amount of time.
I think it's 2 months or something like that.
So we should definitely
4th of July, maybe?
Okay. Well, that's not that long.
Something like that. I think.
4th of July is less than a month away.
Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. Hey, we're in the future now. When does the second part of Stranger Things air?
Here's what I found from Wikipedia.
No, not the second season.
American Science.
No.
Wait, let's ask Alexa. Alexa, when is part 2 of season 4 of Stranger Things going to release?
From AnimatedTimes.com. The first part of Stranger Things season 4 will premiere on Netflix on May 27th, while part 2 will release on July 1st.
There we go.
July 1st.
Your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Now, did all of your Alexas say the same thing? That's our Alexa from the past speaking to your Alexa from the future.
So it's less than a month away. I can deal with that.
Yeah. Now, we will also release an episode covering the final 2 episodes,
Yes.
probably somewhere around the 4th of July, since it's coming out the 1st of July. That will be on Patreon, so if you want to hear that, we urge you to sign up for our Patreon.
Yes, and the more of you that subscribe, the more content we will make.
That's right. But there's great content there right now.
Well, any of you who've been listening, since the beginning, we used to do mixed tapes.
Yeah.
We will start doing those more and put those on Patreon as well.
Absolutely. All right, so that is our thoughts on Stranger Things season 4. You guys can let us know what you think as well.
Yeah.
And, write reviews for the show and do all that stuff.
Yeah. Don't just, share the tapes with your friends, but...
Force the tapes on your friends.
Yeah, we appreciate your help, guys.
Yeah, we do. But that is it for this week. This Back into the Future, Carol.
Write us, latefee1994@AOL.com. Mm-hmm. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on all the stuff.
We are, yeah. And I have a Pinterest.
Oh, yeah, it's very Pinteresting. All right, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.